Hello guys, Sparring Cat, and in today's Battlecats video, I will be ranking meat shields from strongest to weakest, so let's get right into it. Starting off, we have Flamenco Cat, who, although talents make her a little bit better, as a whole, she isn't very good. I've never used her before. She supposedly dodges red attacks, and you could use talents to help her out. I'm going to put her in D tier. Next, we have Crazed Macho Cat, who is a mainstay in most people's decks because, the fast movement speed, he's just the cat but better. So I'm gonna put him in the A tier. He is one of the best meat shields, and he's in most mid to late game players' decks for a good reason. Next, we have Rover Cat, who's pretty solid, good against multiple traits, and he's one of the better units you'll get from the advent stages as well. So I'll put him in a B. He is pretty good. You could make the case for A, but I'll put him in B. Next, we have Wallcat, who might just be the second best meat shield in the game behind Crazed Wallcat. So Wallcat deserves an S, just a mainstay in every deck. Next, we have Gato Amigo, who in 4-star stages is pretty useful. I guess, even with the little cats and Jiangshi, if you have room for them and you really need another meat shield, you could throw them in. But traditionally, you're not going to need them too much because you're going to have so many better meat shields to have, or you're just going to have a bunch of specialized units. So I'm going to put him in C tier. Not an awful unit, but he's been overclassed by a lot of other units that just do the job better. Next, we have, how do I say this name again? Kubuti? I don't know. Next we have this cat, and it is a disrespectment that it was very disrespectful I couldn't name this cat because he is a very good cat. He's like a Jiangshi, but he's very similar to Jiangshi in that way with the revive, the survive. But I personally think he's better. They're both pretty good in my opinion, but whatever his name is, he gets an A. He's good. Next, we have Jiangshi himself, who, although being a little expensive, is usually in my meat shield loadout just because it's relevant in every stage, guaranteed chance of coming back, so surviving. So you essentially get 2 meat shields, although the price is expensive. Good enough damage and health that it could solo most of the pawns and the peons. So I'm going to put him in B. He's never really failed me. Oh, I put him in the wrong tier. There we go. Next, we have Will Racer, who might be a step or two down from the other racers. Not bad, but there are better units, especially in the Eraser Cat family. So this is probably the weakest of the Eraser Cats. I would put him in B, but, you might not use him in your stages. You might, I don't know. But in 4-star stages, he's pretty useful there. Next, we have Lil Mohawk Cat. So, Lil Mohawk Cat, once again, not as good as his other family members. Not a bad unit. I think he gets B, but, just not as good as the other ones. Next, we have Turtle Shell, who is very good at stalling. You deploy them, and they usually last most of their respawn time. And by the time that it dies, you should be close to being able to get another one. So Green Shell will go high B, maybe low A. I'll give him an A minus. He's a pretty good unit, and there's a lot of stages that he works well on. I just wouldn't bring him in some super heavy damage stages because he will get annihilated. But if you bring him in stages where you're kind of stalling for money, then yeah, definitely put him in there. Next, we have Crazed Eraser. Instant S tier. I don't think I have to explain. He is the best unit on this list. If you guys disagree with that, you can comment that down below. But I am convinced that not just Crazed, Manic Eraser Cat is the best meat shield in the game. Next, we have Mohawk Cat himself, who is one of the better meat shields in the game. He gets somewhat outclassed by, other meat shields, but he deserves a solid B, in my opinion. Next, we have Modern Cat. Now, Modern Cat is pretty good. You have an anti-metal and an anti-relic Meatshield, which is pretty rare in the game, and those are two hard traits when you get in the later game. Metal, I suppose, gets countered pretty easily, but definitely the relic is where his usage is most used. So, for that reason, he saved a lot of players in Uncanny Legends. So, I'm going to put him in A tier. I know a lot of people love him, so I'll give him somewhere in the A's. Depending on how often you fight Relic, you might find him higher. And if you don't fight Relic, you might find him lower or not know who he is. But he is a very solid Meatshield. Next up, I'll be totally honest, I don't know who this unit is. So I'm not going to rank her. I've never seen her before. I don't have her. And I have just about every unit in the game. I don't know who this is. So moving on, we have Ramen Cat. Against Angel enemies, he's great. But outside of Angel enemies, you're almost never going to use him. So I'll place him in B. He does his job very well, which is an anti-Angel Meatshield, which he is in every Angel stage loadout. He has combos. He's just a good unit. The only problem is his usage is mostly limited to one trait. So, sorry I'm not speaking too well today. My tongue's just kind of twisted easily, I guess. Alright, next we have Sumo Cat, who early game, people love him, but he really does fall off after Empire of Cats. And it's sad to see because, I love the guy. He's adorable and everything, but he just kind of loses his usage. I'm going to give him a C-, just because in 4-star stages you might use him, but that's about all there is to offer from him. Once you get past Empire of Cats, he really loses his value. And next we have Sifu Cat, who turns into Wushu. Now, among anti-zombie Meatshields, he's one of the best out there. But it's very hard to use him outside of his niche. So I'm going to have to put him in B. He's kind of in the same boat with Ramen. Like, he's almost like the Ramen Cat of zombies, if you want to think of him like that. Yeah, you could make the case for him higher or lower depending on how much you fight zombies, but, he does his job, which is, he follows his niche very well, and against zombies, he's very good. But this is my list. If you guys agree, disagree on any of the rankings, anything like that, make sure to leave it down below. If you like the video, please make sure to subscribe, like the video itself, and turn notifications on so you never miss a video. And if you have any other questions, please make sure to leave them down in the comment section. Also, video ideas, leave them down there. I might pick some of them, because there's a lot of content to cover, and I'm not sure what to do next. But Spartan Cat, signing off. See you in the next one, guys.